everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies and Toy Story, consider hitting that subscribe button down below so you guys don't miss any of my up and coming videos. Last week on Sunday, I talked about Toy Story, what that film meant to me, my experience with the film, and just reviewed it for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about Toy Story 2, the sequel that was released in 1999. And this film, out of all three of the Toy Story movies, is the one I would say I've seen the least. It's very iconic. We know who Jessie is, we know who Bullseye is, and we were introduced to those characters into this film, but it's the movie that I've seen the least. I do remember buying this movie on VHS, and I remember watching a lot, not at home, honestly. I remember watching this movie a lot at Kmart. My local Kmart had a Little Caesars inside its building, and that Little Caesars was kind of big for a Kmart store. And in that Little Caesars, there was a television that played a lot of films. Every Saturday, my mom, my brother, my grandma would go shopping at the mall, Kmart, Walmart, Target, wherever. And I remember sitting a lot at Little Caesars and watching a whole entire film. I was all about movies as a kid, and so I remember watching Toy Story 2 at this Little Caesars, just having a pizza with my mom, my grandma, and my brother, and watching Toy Story 2. And so that's probably my fondest memory of this movie, is sitting at a Little Caesars and watching this movie. Like I said, it's the one I've seen the least, and so I just sat down and watched it after watching Toy Story, and it's such an amazing movie. I wish I would have saw this movie a lot more growing up. I do have the Blu-ray. I do remember watching it a few times here and there, but I don't remember all of it. And this movie did a great job of building up the characters from the first film while actually having them do their own little thing in this movie. Most movies where your main characters are in their second or third or fourth film and they're separated from the group, it makes you miss them as a whole. It makes you miss one adventure or another adventure, or you know, when this character is off doing their own thing, I really wanted me back with these other characters. But in the beginning of the film, Woody's arm is ripped and Andy is off to cowboy camp and doesn't take Woody with him. So the mom puts Woody on the top shelf, and as you know, like a kid, the top shelf is like where the toys go to die and you don't play with them, and they just sit up there and they don't do anything. And so he goes up there and he finds another toy, Wheezy. And so mom's starting to get toys together for the yard sale, and she grabs Wheezy and puts him in the yard sale. And Woody goes off to save him, but gets picked up by this guy who is... So Woody is having this inner conflict. He wants to go home back to Andy and be a friend and be there for him, but he also knows that Andy will eventually grow up. So that leaves Buzz with the other characters left by themselves to try to go find Woody. And so Buzz is with Mr. Potato Head and Rex and Ham and Slinky, and Woody is with this guy, and he met Jessie and Bullseye and the Prospector. So they're off doing their own thing. And this is a good chance for the characters to really shine individually. Buzz is a great leader, but we never got to see him really interact with Ham and Mr. Potato Head and Rex and Slinky from the first film. They admired who he was because he looked really cool. He got the wings and the lasers and everything, but they never really were together. So he's with these characters and he works really well with the group. These new characters are a lot of fun. We also get Mrs. Potato Head in the film. She's great. Bullseye is very sweet. Mr. Prospector is good until the end of the film. If you've seen it, you know what Mr. Prospector does, Stinky Pete. But I like his character as well, and how he was stuck in a box. And that's a different side of toys that kids might not see, because once they get a toy, they open it up immediately, whereas adults sometimes keep toys inside boxes. So maybe kids were a little bit confused on why is this toy inside a box. He should be ripped open and played with. Just like the first film, this film balances adult humor as well as humor for kids. So it's a family film. It's not just a kid's film. I could sit and watch the three Toy Story films over and over and over again and catch little things here and there. I also love the little Easter eggs. Like I said in my last review for Toy Story, as a kid, I never got to understand certain references, but in this movie, I'm able to sit down, enjoy the film, but also see certain things here and there that I didn't see as a kid. And they made reference to other Pixar films or the Pixar shorts or the directors, whatever it may be. There's little things here and there that I thought was really cool. There's a song from Jessie that's pretty emotional, and I'm always confused. That song is very sad. I take my daughter to this place at the mall, and we go there, and it's like a kid's jungle gym area that you have to pay to get into, and they play a lot of Disney music. They always play that song that Jessie is sad over. When She Loved Me, the girl Emily had her as a toy and grew up and didn't play with her. They play that song, and I'm always wondering, why are they playing that song at a kid's play area in the mall? It's a very emotional song. Quit playing it. But I liked the integration of that song, and it made Woody think more about Andy and what Andy meant to him. Toy Story 2 is just an amazing film. I love the introduction of these new characters, and we didn't get to see much of some of them in the second film, and they played a huge part in the third film. And I also like the separate storylines for each character. Buzz and Woody, they weren't together for most of the film, but when they did come together, it still was very memorable and still very loving. You got to see that they were still really good friends. And we also get Zurg in here as well, the villain from Buzz's side of the show, and other Buzz Lightyear characters. It's so much fun. There's just a lot of things to love about this movie. The end airplane chase scene is great. I could go on and talk about how this scene is great or this scene is perfect. The animation is an improvement from the first film. The animation for the 1995 Toy Story film was great for that time, but as you can tell as the years go by, animation is changing a little, and Toy Story 2 looked really great, and obviously Toy Story 3 looks way better than the first two films, but that was years later. But Toy Story 2 is a fun film. It's very entertaining. It's emotional at times. The characters are still very fun to watch, even though that they're doing their own things, and they are also introducing these characters that are very iconic and are very loved by Toy Story fans. I'm gonna go ahead and give Toy Story 2 an A+. Just like the last film, Toy Story 2 gets an A+, just like Toy Story 1 got an A+. We'll see what Toy Story 3 gets. So make sure to check out my review for Toy Story I did last week, and next week I'll be reviewing Toy Story 3, and as well as be ranking all of the Pixar films for you guys. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my review for Toy Story right over here. My name is JustinWatchesMovies, and you guys stay classy too.